I went solo on a luxury 2-day, 1-night cruise for $375 in Halong Bay, Vietnam, and let me tell you if it was worth it. First, the company picked me up from my hotel in Hanoi around 8 a.m. Then it was about a 2.5-hour drive to Halong Bay, where I slept the entire ride there. We transferred onto a smaller boat to get on the main cruise ship, and the second I stepped on, it was giving luxury. Here's a look at the room I had all to myself with a king bed, private balcony, huge tub with a view. I don't usually splurge on luxury just for myself when I'm solo traveling, but since the dollar goes so far in Southeast Asia, I decided to treat myself whenever I could on this trip. After settling in, I headed upstairs for lunch. My server was so sweet and attentive. He literally pulled out my chair for me every single time I came back to my seat. The food and drinks were great. Look at this passion fruit mojito I had. I was so surprised that no one else after lunch wanted to hang out in this pool on the bow of the boat, so I had it completely to myself and just took in the views. Honestly, most people on the boat were older, and all the younger people were couples. I'm pretty sure I was the only solo traveler, but I don't mind my own company. Later, when we anchored, I went kayaking around a little island. Not gonna lie, I was skeptical of my arm strength to be able to kayak, but I was pleasantly surprised by how easy it was, and I even jumped straight off the boat for a swim. I was due for a bath after swimming in that water, so I took advantage of the huge, gorgeous bathtub in my room. Then it was time for happy hour, which basically meant 2 drinks for the price of 1. I got a couple cocktails and hung out in the hot tub. I took another shower and then made myself a tea and enjoyed the view from the private balcony of my room until it was time for a cooking class. We just watched the class. We didn't cook for ourselves. The dinner was also excellent and everything was presented very fancy. Right before bed, I also got a full body oil massage for like an extra $45, and that wrapped up my night. The next morning, the weather totally flipped. It was super gloomy and rainy, but honestly, it didn't matter since the only thing on the schedule was a cave tour off the boat. Like, I don't think we could have done a better rainy day activity than exploring a cave. And I saw so many freaking bats on the cave ceiling. I don't think I've ever seen something like this before. Once we got back from the cave, we had brunch on the boat, packed up our bags, and then got driven back to our hotels in Hanoi. This cruise packed a ton into the 18 hours we had, and I definitely recommend it.